So, welcome everyone to Satisfactory 1.2. I've been doing some of the basics by completing phase 1 of the space elevator so I can get automated co-power. I have my smart plating set up there, so I'm not going to automate that. All the basics. Small power plant, 450 megawatts. And over here I am just going, there's co-nodes somewhere around here. I'm going to create the power plant so I can finally get rid of all this. This is awful because I have to keep refilling it all the time. Now that I've done enough talking, I'm going to lay down the foundations and I'll get back to you then. So I've now found the location and placed down my platforms. So from this point here, it's 16 across, which should be enough to fit 16 co-plants. And with those 16 co-plants, it creates 1,200 megawatts, I believe, from the 4 co-nodes in this area. So there's 2 over here, 2 over there. Each of them are normal. So that's 240 coal. That will then go into the 16 co-plants with water from there. That will give me enough power to last me probably until I can get to oil. Or until I get the tier 2 miners, which once I get them, I can upgrade everything if needed. But I may have to rebuild it all because I've not designed it to be future-proof, but that's a future me problem. Currently, it's past me. So I'm get building, and I'll see you when it's done. So guys, I am pretty sure I now have everything hooked up. I just have to wait for coal to go in. I should probably check what's going on inside and check each machine to make sure it's getting coal before I turn the plant on and connect to the main grid, because currently it's running on biomass. Once I've used up all that biomass, I won't have any power. But I can already see there's an issue with this belt. I'll fix that really quickly. However, that's 100. That belt is fine. I need to fix that and check the internals for any issues. And then I'll come back once the plant is up and running. So I have now made sure that everything works. All these, as you can see, are all green, so it's all running properly. All these belts are neat. Everything's being put in. The last thing I need to do is finish off this wall with the walls and paint it black. And I can move on to making steel closer to the main base over there. This is actually quite a long way over here. I would want to use only 6 of these, but to make it easier for this I had to use 4 lines, with each line having 2 water extractors on. Apart from all that, it's fine. It uses about 200 megawatts to power itself, but then produces 1,200, which is plenty for now. I might need to build a second plant later on. I know that over there somewhere there are some pure nodes, so I might use that. But unless that happens, the next power plant I'll be making will be oil, and I'm going to work on my steel production facility now and create all the steel products in one place. So I'll see you once I've laid out those foundations. It's been a while. I've done a few things off camera. The first thing I did was get attacked by this hog. Luckily I have this ladder which I can quickly get up to get out of the way. So what I've done now that I'm away from the hog is do this factory here, which is still starting up, as you can tell by all the lights changing and all that. It's my Caterium, quick wire and AI limit, and my AI limiter. It's my quick wire and AI limiter factory. So for the quick wire, it is just this constructor doing it, and that just directly under the floor goes into this, I don't know what they're called, crates I'll call them. And the rest of these, as well as all the copper sheets over here, go into these assemblers, which go under here in the underwalls, and then come out there, up into my other storage chests, and go into there. These are connected by these long belt highways over here. Over there is a steel farm that I have to replace because it's not very well, which I spent way too long making. And over here is the start of a rotor and motor factory, but I am missing the steel rotor recipe, so I need to do some searching for that. So I'm going to let this factory start up, get me a few, but then I'll have to turn it off because my power supply isn't high enough. And then once I get that rotor recipe, I'll let that run, turn this off, but start to build my new steel factory over there, because up there it's just too far and not very... Actually, it's over there, because I can replace my coal and mix them over there, I believe. Then I'll turn this off and see what I'll do next. So, I'll probably just make a time lapse of me fighting hogs and stuff and getting some hard drives, and hopefully it won't take me too long to get the steel rotor recipe, but I suppose I'll see you again once I get the steel rotor recipe. So while waiting for my recipe, which I need for the steel rotor, I've started work on my steel factory, which will be here, and then if I have any leftover coal, I might build an additional coal power plant over there, just a small one. So far I've just laid down a basic platform, put down some smelters, and I will update you once I've finished a major segment of the factory. So I've also now placed down all of my conveyors and machines and began to link up a few of the coal nodes, so that's where my 270 coal is coming from. Over there by the space elevator over there, there's an iron node, which I'm getting 270 iron from. Then I think that this is a pure node. If this is not a pure node, I'm sure I can look around, take some from over there to feed in for my limestone to make the concrete with. And once I've done that, the output will be there. I had put it there, decided to move it over to there. So I need to add power lines, have it on a power switch so I can turn it off since it uses quite a lot of power. And that's annoying me, so I'm thinking about probably adding an extra onto there and budging it along a little. I might do that, make that look better. And I'll come back to you once I've hooked everything up and the power lines are all connected. So while my steel factory, which is now made, is starting up, I'm going to remove the old one, which includes all this old infrastructure here. So if you look in a second, it will all be gone and back to its natural state. So after probably 15 minutes of destroying old infrastructure, this is what it looks like. There's a little over there that I've missed. That'd be easy to destroy next time I go near it. I've only left in the power lines because there are still some resources up there that I might one day need. But apart from all that, it's all good. The old steel factory, which was useless, has been destroyed. And I also now have all the materials for the space elevator. But before I do that, I still have the motor to do. So I've finished that, then I'll put the items into the space elevator. And we'll be all done for phase 2. We can move into phase 3. I can get my better boats. And I can get the jetpack really quickly because I really want to be able to fly again. To get some power slugs and other items. Which I'm currently very low on. So if I come over here, I have some storage chests, which is where I'm keeping the items. I'll just put all those into there. And now I'm good. I can show you what the finished steel farm looks like. And how much it has made in about 15 minutes, as that's how long I've been away from it. Industrial beams. This bottom row is what has been made. So that many, which is about 1,000. This many of the steel beams, and that is all produced in this farm here. This is the iron, that is the concrete from limestone. Obviously this is where the steel is. This is where the steel beam is. All of these are pipes. Then I'm using the alternate recipe, which uses the steel pipes to make the encased industrial beams. Then that goes underneath the floor and over to there, which is where the input is. For the limestone, I used a load balancer because one of these sources comes from my concrete supply, and the other comes from over there. So after all that, I just need to close it off eventually, and it'll be all good, and I can leave this one, and I actually think this infrastructure looks nicer. And then what I'm planning to do here is, with some of the excess coal, I'm going to create a second coal power plant, which I'm going to use to power up my first oil power plant, which is going to be a simple line of generators, because I'm currently really low on power. Because as you can see here, I am over the limit, and this can spike over, which is why this is a switch, so I can turn it off and it goes. You can see how much power this alone uses, which is why I will put a priority switch here as well later on. Apart from that, I will finish off the motor and rotor farm, show it off to you, then we can put items in the space elevator. So after looking at my coal power plant, and because of the way I built it, it doesn't need to be a full dismantle, but it does have to be a partial, but all the guts underneath have to be taken out, which is blocked off right now, and I need to just expand it by 5, so I guess there's 4 tiles, 5 tiles, and it needs 1 tile for the other stuff. So if I just have it the other way round along the back, move these water extractors, add in 8 more, we should be fine and double our power, and just change up a few of these, because eventually this is going to be removed anyway as soon as I can. I can use the coal nodes for other things. So I'm going to get to work, place down the basic infrastructure, and I'll see you again once I've made a key step. So I've now let my power plant run for a while to fill up all the machines. It's all running pretty well. There's still a bit that needs backing up, but that'll be fine later on. It's all just the coal. I overclock these a little more, so the belts are at full capacity now, which will fill them up quicker, use up more energy, but worth it for stable power, which now means I can turn in my space elevator parts, and I think I get to unlock trains and fuel generators, which I'm going to be using plenty of in my future builds, because I love to go choo-choo. So I'm Go to the space elevator and turn them in. Drink my coffee on the way. Since who doesn't like a good coffee before finishing a phase? That's from my inventory, which I can delete quickly after I do this. But we'll end episode 1 here. I actually made extra. We're going to seal it. And send it. Takes a while to send it. Oh, I forget Ada has a presentation.
To the Project Assembly Pioneer Progress Presentation. Congratulations, the Phase 2 project part shipment is now ready for delivery. On delivery, Phase 2 will be completed and the construction dock will be constructed. After completion of Phase 2, the technologies of Tiers 5 and 6 will become available in the hub. These might feel intimidating after your previous experience, but rest assured that you would not be here if you were entirely incompetent. Highlights are oil production, railway transportation, the jetpack, and many more. Completing Phase 3 of Project Assembly is your next main objective. Just remember to focus on producing and delivering the project parts, and Fixit's faith in you will be strengthened.
Probably just do that manually. I tend to be a manual sort of person, just put the items in myself and leave them. Let's see. Here we go, this is animation for the second time. And there we go. You can see it being added onto now.
Phase 2 of You have been performing more adequately under pressure and are closer than ever to saving the day.
Oh yeah, we can save the day.
Perhaps you were the right choice for the job. Time will tell. You will now enter Phase 3 of Project Assembly. Continue as you are, and there should be no issue. For humanity. For Fixit.
For Fixit. Never noticed the floating cars up there. And we are done. That's going to be fun. One last sip of the coffee before going, and I will see you next time.